Good morning, guys. We'll be looking at our topic today, paroxysmal supraventricular tachycardia. Introduction. Paroxysmal supraventricular tachycardia, or shortly called as PSVT, is an arrhythmia that is of paroxysmal type of onset and it will be recurrent in that particular person. More commonly, there will be no structural diseases found in this patient. So, when the conduction rate is of 1:1 ratio, that is, all atrial impulses will be conducted to the ventricular area. It is assumed to be paroxysmal supraventricular tachycardia. The heart rate of this person will be around 140 to 220 per minute. Let us look at the etiology, or what are the causes for paroxysmal supraventricular tachycardia. Usually there will be a triggering mechanism, following by which there will be a re-entry mechanisms. Normally the triggering mechanisms are when the person has anxiety or a hyperthyroidism or excess coffee intake. This causes a re-entry mechanisms, which in turn leads to rapid heartbeats or premature atrial beats or ventricular ectopics. Sometimes this may occur in the presence of a congenital heart diseases. Rather than triggers, there will be congenital heart diseases like Ebstein's anomaly or atrial septal defect or tetralogy of Fallot. What happens is when that in the presence of these congenital heart diseases or triggerers, there will be a ventricular ectopic, and because of abnormal pathways, they will go re-entry. How this re-entry will occur is that they have two pathways, one fast pathway and one slow pathway. What happens in the fast pathway is that there will be atrial and AV nodal abnormality. So this circuit goes faster than normal at the AV nodal. This is also called as AV nodal reentrant tachycardia. Sometimes the impulses from atrium to ventricles enter in an abnormal tract. These are also called as accessory tracts. So this is called as atrioventricular reentrant tachycardia. As I've highlighted here, there can be some abnormal pathways in the green color, also called as accessory pathways. These causes the reentrant tachycardia, or sometimes the sinoatrial node or the ventricular node may also be abnormal. So how do you diagnose a patient with paroxysmal supraventricular tachycardia? They mostly occur in the age groups of 12 to 30 years. The attacks are often precipitated by exertion or excess coffee, as I told earlier. So how about the palpitation that occurs? These palpitations are regular type, and they'll have abrupt onset and they terminate spontaneously or start spontaneously. That's why they are called as paroxysmal. And the main feature is that they will be terminated by Valsalva maneuver. The other clinical features of this patient are dyspnea because of inadequate blood supply to the head and chest pain. The person may go for hypertension and congestive cardiac failure if this occurs repeatedly. And since atria is getting damaged, they will be releasing atrial natriuretic peptide. This will cause diuresis and will cause polyuria in turn. The only investigation available to diagnose this is ECG. The heart rate will be at a rate of 140 to 220 per minute, and as I have shown here, the ECG is normal up to this point, and from here there will be sudden onset of supraventricular tachycardia. You can see that the QRS complex is very narrow, and sometimes this P wave might not be discernible, and they might conjoin with the QRS complexes. How do we manage a patient with paroxysmal supraventricular tachycardia? If the patient is unstable, we have no other option but to go for emergency cardioversion. If the patient is stable, we can try for Valsalva maneuvers. But if Valsalva maneuvers are not working, we must usually go for adenosine. It is a drug of choice. We must give IV 6 mg IV fast bolus. If this did not stop it, we must go for 12 mg IV bolus, repeated after another 2 minutes. Even if it is not then controlled, again repeated for 12 milligram. If the patient is having an accessory pathway that can be found out, we must go for radiofrequency catheter ablation. Ablation of that particular tract will abolish the re-entry mechanisms, and thus the impulse will come back to normal. Thank you.